Hello, the Internet, and welcome to today's presentation, Settling the Quality Score. Thank you for joining me today. I'm used to saying us, but nobody wanted to co-host with me. So today's presentation is going to be about quality score. My name is Sean Quadlin. I'm a product marketing manager here at Google on the best practices team. So I joined Google about a year ago, and I came from an outside agency where I was managing paid search accounts on a daily basis. And so our team is actually putting together a bunch of materials about how to help people be as good as possible with AdWords. And one of my first projects was actually putting together this presentation about quality score. And so I'm excited. It's great to hear about this stuff from the inside perspective. And then now I just want to present it to all of you guys out there so you can understand what Google's point of view is on ads quality and quality score. So today's presentation is going to cover three different areas. We have how to diagnose keyword quality using quality score, how to focus on your quality score's components, and then some things that do and don't matter. So it's kind of myth busting in terms of the land of quality score. So let's get started with diagnosing keyword quality. And so I think one of the big takeaways today, at least when I was going through this research, and I hope that you guys have the same point of view on it, is that quality score should be a diagnostic tool. It's not a key performance indicator, right? So a lot of people are trying to manage their accounts to get a better quality score, but we think that's the wrong way to think about things. So you have a lot of other metrics available in your account to actually gauge your performance. So there's click-through rate, there's return on ad spend, there's cost per acquisition, conversion rate, sales, profits. It just goes on and on. Like, that's one of the great things about this industry is that there are so many metrics. And I think use all of those metrics first because they're a direct indication of how your account is actually performing. They're directly connected to what users are doing on your site. So use those. Don't use quality score as the end goal for your account's optimizations. Think of them like warning lights in a car. Like, something is broken and you'll have a low quality score and it can tell you, kind of point you in the direction of what you should be working on, but you shouldn't wake up and check quality score first thing in your account. It's something that you can use secondarily to kind of diagnose what's going on, what might be broken in your account. And I think an important distinction to draw about quality score and ads quality is this notion of auction time quality. So each and every auction, the system actually reevaluates your ads and sees just how good they are for that specific auction. So at that auction, we take into account a bunch of different factors. So there's query, there's device, there's time of day, there's the user's location. All of these things are going to subtly shade how your ad is expected to perform for that user. And so that's going to be your auction time quality. It's much more nuanced, and it's just a lot more useful to you than that 1 to 10 number that's in quality score. That's supposed to be a diagnostic tool, remember. So it's just a little bit different than auction time quality score. And that number is limited, okay? So there are a few other things that I think kind of help separate quality score with a capital Q and S that you can review in your account on the Keywords tab, and then ads quality. They're just kind of different beasts. So 1 to 10 quality score doesn't look at geographic signals, but auction time, like I said, considers geography. Another thing is we love ad testing. Ad testing is a beautiful thing. I've actually co-hosted other HOAs about ad testing. You should definitely do it. But at the time of the auction, your keyword's going to be paired with different ads depending on what tests are going on for you. And so that user may respond differently to your ad text, and that's actually not reflected in the 1 to 10 quality score. But it is part of your auction time quality. So just another subtle difference there. And then 1 to 10 quality score, this is kind of just a quirk of reporting. It actually only takes into account when your query exactly matches the keyword. So auction time is going to consider the entirety of that query, even if it's different from the keyword in your account. But if you're just looking at 1 to 10 quality score, it's only going to be exact matches on your keyword. And then just flowing right off of that, negative keywords are a great thing. Another HOA, I just keep talking about all these things I've done in the past, you guys. We need to live in the present to talk about quality today. But negative keywords actually aren't part of that 1 to 10 quality score because we're only looking at exact matches. If you add a negative keyword, you're going to remove yourself from that auction. So it's actually not going to be reflected in your account. Another subtle difference, but hopefully you can understand why that 1 to 10 number may not be the perfect way to kind of evaluate your performance. And so when we're talking about evaluating performance, I think it's really important to go one step further into that. So diagnose the components within your report. You actually have 3 different components on your keyword tab that's going to show you if you're below average, average, or above average. So there's expected CTR, there's ad relevance, and then there's landing page experience. And at the time of the auction, we actually evaluate each of these 3 components and then use those in the auction. That 1 to 10 quality score isn't used in the auction. It's going to be a real-time evaluation of these components. And then when we're talking about improving your ads quality score and just improving ads quality in general, kind of in a holistic way, focus on high value areas. So think about things that are really important to you, both in terms of volume and in terms of potential return to you, and try to improve those areas. Because there's no upper limit on quality. You can't just have an above average quality rating in your component and just be done and just walk away and think that your job is done. Because there's actually no limit. You can just keep getting better and better. So even if you have a 10 out of 10, if that's the most important place in your account, you can keep working on that place to improve it. So just be selective with your optimizations and maximize your impact. Focused on high upside places where you can actually affect change. So control the things you can control and keep improving in areas that really matter to your account. And so now we're going to walk through each of the 3 components of quality score and talk about some specific actions that you can do to actually increase that in your account. So the first one is poor expected CTR. And that really comes back to just having compelling creatives. So it's about having specific calls to action, unique selling points, just writing a really good PPC ad, which is this beautiful art in and of itself, right? Your PPC ads, there's limited real estate, but it's doing good things that speak to a user's query and actually drives them to click on your site, on your ad to get to your site. So we have an example here. It's just for Chromecast. Somebody searching for Chromecast, you can see it's bolded in the ad text. And so ships free from select retailers, order a Chromecast for only $35. So the headline, the description's copy, we're really focusing on the price point. That's what this ad campaign is using. And based on ad tests that this account is surely running, it's probably shown to be a good performer. So just think about how you can make those creatives as compelling as possible to the users. And then it's also just kind of starting that conversation because you're going to drive them to your site. You're going to want to set up that what you want them to do later. So you're going to convince them that your landing page is actually related to their query. And then ad relevance is really about that user's query and connecting what your ad is saying to them on the results page. So my favorite activity here is just to actually look at your search terms report, see what queries are actually being driven by your keywords. Because again, that's just a small distinction between queries, which is what users actually type in, and then keywords are what you actually use when you're targeting those users' queries. So it's a subtle difference, but you can really kind of understand that difference when you look right at your search terms report. So again, here we have a Chromecast and some example queries that could be driving it in. Chromecast, Google Chromecast, probably similar users, what they're looking for there. But then sometimes you can see just a bit lower layers and see that there's a difference in what that ad should be related to. So how does Chromecast work? That's going to be a totally different use case from Chromecast apps, because what Chromecast is supporting at the moment. And so just look at your search terms report. It can be hugely beneficial. It's going to tell you where you want to have smaller ad groups, because then you can have more direct ad text. And then you can also just see, if you look at components within your ad groups, you can see when there's ad relevance that maybe is below average for the rest of the ad group, and that'll tell you I need to make a new ad group so that I can make a better ad. So relevance really gets back to the user's query and the user's ultimate intent when they come to Google. So think about that. And then landing page experience is really just about being useful and user-friendly. So people are coming to your site because they clicked on your ad. Are they going to be happy with what they find? Sometimes I think people can obsess about things like page load time or if they have enough keyword density, things like that. We're really not trying to measure things like that. So I think that's good news for advertisers because you guys really have metrics available to you to know whether or not your landing page is doing a good job. What's a good proxy for you? So there's conversion rate, you can look at time on site, you can look at bounce rate and things like that. So analytics data and then your conversion rates, they're going to tell you a much better picture of what your users are actually experiencing on your site. Are they achieving what they want to achieve? Are they having a good time? You know, you're driving customers so you can do something useful for them. What numbers do you have at your disposal to actually show that? And just really think about, if someone's clicking on my ad, do we have a good landing page experience? I think that's just a good exercise because your ad has an offer and a call to action. Are you actually letting people follow through on that? And then just deliver good experience across devices because that one ad may show up for different people on different devices and you want to give that a good experience across each of those. So it's another factor. And so just to bring it down the home stretch today, I want to talk about some things that matter and some things that don't matter when we're talking about ads quality and quality score. So the first is just user's device. I was just talking about this. I think this is hugely important, is just to think about what people are going to be searching for you on. And once they search on that, are you having the right ad text to actually speak to them? And then are you actually going to have the right landing page that allows them to do what they want to do? So mobile users and mobile devices, they just have different kind of incentives. They're just in a different place, different peace of mind. You know, like you may be waiting for a bus, which I'll be doing in short order, as everybody waits for a bus at some point in their lives. So just think about what device people are on. The ads are going to change as a result of that. And then this one really for me is what kind of crystallized it to me. Quality score is just an attempt to measure how good you're actually being when it comes to meeting a user's needs. So users' intentions are just the central focus. We're just trying to measure if advertisers are doing a great job at actually speaking to their users. So give a good pre- and post-click user experience, think about what their queries are, and then deliver on that query, both with good ads, with good landing page, and then also just being relevant. Like this is really kind of the takeaway, the thesis statement, if you will. If you want to talk about freshman year literature at college, write a good thesis statement. This is quality score is about a user's intentions and being relevant to them. So just think about that. Optimize to your users. I think that's really kind of the takeaway of the day. And then just one myth that sometimes you run across is that newly launched keywords actually they're going to draft for a bit off of existing stuff that's been in your account for a while, but there's no such thing as account level quality score, that if you have bad keywords elsewhere, it can tank everything in your account. It's really just about when you have something new, we're going to wait for a while and kind of gauge based on other relevant areas in your account, but eventually those keywords are going to go on their own. So it's just for that kind of inaugural phase when they're launching, we're going to say, oh, how similar are these to something else in your account? What can we learn from that part? But once those keywords have enough to go off on their own, then it's going to be a different story. So grow your coverage on relevant searches, especially where you have the potential to be high quality. So think about what places you're already targeting and adding new keywords to actually go off of that. But there's no such thing as account level quality score. Just want to clear that one up. And then just a handful of things that don't matter. Account structure. This one's really, again, about user experience. If a user doesn't experience it, then it doesn't need to be a worry for you in terms of quality. So your account structure, what you name things on the back end, you can have weird kind of idiosyncratic names. I know I've seen those in the past. Maybe it's not a good idea if you want to like encode your campaign names or something like that. Just make it so it's useful for you. Don't worry about that affecting your quality. Restructure things as needed to make sure that you can manage it as well as possible. That's really what it's about. And if a user doesn't experience it, then you should be fine. Other networks don't affect your quality. So quality score is actually only reported on google.com. So if you're on search partners or if you're on the display network, separate entities. We measure quality for both of those. They're actually not reported in the interface. So use performance metrics there. I think you guys are used to this. If you're on display, you know what's working or not by your performance metrics. And I think that same line of reasoning goes to search. So that's just an aside. I apologize. I love talking about this stuff. But just think about those different areas as distinct entities. Google.com search, different from partners, different from display network. You don't have to worry about those kind of talking to one another. And then the final thing today is ads placement on the page. So we actually normalize on your position, so you can't bid up to get a higher quality score. That sometimes has been said in the past. Do not do that. Bid to the place that makes sense to you, bid to the performance in your account, and then just do what's best for your business and just write good ads. We're going to control for things like that when we're actually talking about quality itself. Whew, I'm a little winded, guys. I hope you are okay with your presenter being a bit breathy at the end of this. If you want more Google best practices, we have this white paper and others at g.co/GooglePP. So please read those. We think they're valuable. We hope that you find them valuable. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments of this video, leave them in the comments of wherever we post this stuff. We're going to do our best to answer them. If we get enough, maybe we could do a follow-up Q&A, and then I could get breathy for you guys again, get a little winded in my presentation. But aside from that, that is it. Thank you guys very much for your attention and for watching today. Hopefully you understand a bit more about ads quality after our little ditty today.